Victor Medina joins us now. He's with Unhyphenated America, found by its namesake, unhyphenatedamerica.org. Obama PAC launches gun control social media campaign almost immediately after the terrorist attack in Orlando. Democrats seized the moment. They framed the debate, and Republicans never engaged. Or did they? And were they just ignored by the mainstream media? Victor Medina, again, joins us now for news and views you can use right here on the What's Up radio program. Victor, welcome to the What's Up show.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate your time.
What's up with this? It seems like the Supreme Court legalizes gay marriage, and within hours, gay couples were at every government agency that dispensed marriage license, and they were taking notes and calling the press if anyone said, no, I'm not gonna. You know, the Orlando shooter goes in, shoots up a gay bar, and within hours, the Democrats are framing the debate. Are they just better at social media? Are they just better organized? Are they just not fighting amongst themselves? Well, hey, let's take one question at a time, all right? What's up with this? Did they really catch the Republicans flat-footed?
I think in some ways they did. Now, what it really boils down to is that Republicans have yet to understand just how much reach there is in social media. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't a presence for the conservative movement on social media. It's obviously out there. But what I think we're lacking and what Democrats do so well is that they are able to speak with one voice and to create a laser focus for their issues and to come up with the same talking points and really frame the debate in a way that Republicans, even though I felt like in this case we had much stronger talking points, there just wasn't the response that we needed to have. There wasn't the unified effort. Democrats will unify even though they don't like each other half the time, and just as fractured as the Republican Party, they will come together when it's necessary for the issues that are important to them. And for some reason, the Republican Party doesn't do that. And it comes from both sides, not just the grassroots, but it comes from the up top, the leadership. There's just a total lack of focus on what is important and how we should address these issues.
Well, maybe we're too busy making $1 to pay for Awanas and, cars to go back and forth to soccer and church and work. And but I digress. And let me chase another rabbit. Now, I'm old. I'm real old. I was born last century. But I did a show on social media, and Donald Trump had, 12, 15, some odd million friends on Facebook, and Ted Cruz had about 2 million, and the majority of those were in Texas. So when Trump sent out a Facebook posting, tweet, whatever, he had over 5 times the reach that Ted Cruz had. I think Trump understood 2008 Obama had social media. He had the texting down. Text us $5. Every other week they were getting their followers to say yes, send them $5. So
that's right.
Are Republicans just too busy making a buck, too busy at church, too busy with Awanas? Do we not have a focal point where when something happens, we go there? And like you said in your great piece there, Victor, it drove the responders to a website that gave them the talking points that they retweeted, reposted, talked about at the cooler, at the office, at church, at wherever. So they had a talking point cheat sheet and they drove people there.
That's exactly what they did. And I think that's where Republicans dropped the ball, I think, in some respects. Now, you're right. I believe Donald Trump, part of his rise in the party, wasn't just, his rhetoric. It was his ability to reach out to people and create this, at least in some ways, to use social media to create a movement. The problem is, and the problem we see now, that I see now, is that there isn't a unified effort between now that the Trump campaign is essentially, in charge of the party, and they're the standard bearer. You don't see the connection between the Trump campaign, and you see so many of conservative media, banding together and working together, to create these talking points. You've got essentially every week there's something different coming from the Trump campaign, which is fine. But when it's not unified and it's not organized with the support structure, with the grassroots, which is just as strong as what the Democrats have, if not stronger, you do have you have a tendency to sort of be fractured in your message. And that's exactly what happens, and what ends up happening. And some Republicans and conservatives may not want to hear this, but we do spend so much time either on other pursuits or just either attacking each other. I mean, you've got the grassroots saying you can't trust the establishment, and the establishment saying you can't trust the grassroots. They don't know what they're doing. And instead of focusing on what's important, whether it's November or it's the latest, whether it's mass shooting, and really controlling the narrative, we get sort of sidetracked and we get lost in the weeds a bit, on these petty issues. So I think there's got to be, if we're going to really reach out, because to really boil it down to you, this election, whether it's for the presidency or for Congress, and a lot of these races are going to come down to the 5%, 6%, 7% middle of the road voters who aren't necessarily Democrat or Republican, and they're not hardcore into politics or anything like that, but they listen to what people are saying, and they're going to listen to these these social media efforts to control the narrative when it comes to gun control, when it comes to gay marriage, abortion. They're going to listen to those things, and if we don't have a unified message, if we don't organize, we're not going to capture those voters. And Democrats are going to go out and get them, even if they may not agree totally with everything that they say. Voters are going to gravitate to people that say a message that appeals to them. That's one of the reasons why Trump is appealing, at least to many conservatives, is that he's given a message that appeals to them. Our focus should be on that 5 to 7% of the electorate that's going to decide this election.
Are you saying our focus should be on the squish? Because that's what the 5 to 7% is. Friends, 45% of Americans would pull the D lever if it was the devil himself. I mean, Clinton herself. It doesn't matter who. Conversely, there are 47% of Americans that are going to pull that R lever, unless it's Trump, and then the establishment will walk like 25 million Christians did, or evangelicals, and did not vote in the Romney election. Oh, my. If we don't, Victor, in wrapping up here, if we don't, now listen, friends, listen, for a view that you can use right now. And Victor, our goal of the What's Up program is for our listeners to remember something said 2 weeks from now. Hey, I listened to Rush yesterday and Sean yesterday. What'd they say? Blah, 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 Obama this and blah, 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 blah. I don't remember. Friends, remember this. Remember this. If we do not have the head seat, the center seat at the table, if we're just talking to those who are in control, we lose. There is fear that the Republicans will lose the House, lose the Senate, and lose the White House. Can you imagine 2 years of Hillary with a Democrat House, Democrat Senate? You talking about America is over. Maybe that will be the cause for Texas to rise again. But that's another day, another guest. We are with Victor Medina. He can be found at unhyphenatedamerica.org. Victor, in wrapping up here, give our listeners and give me 2 things that I can do to help reach the squish, that 5, 7, 8% in the middle, and keep the base motivated.
Well, it's going to go down to listen to what people are saying. If it's Trump talking about Benghazi is indicative of how Hillary cannot be president. That's the bandwagon we need to jump on. That's the issue. That will resonate with voters. That's what it's going to boil down to. We have got to unify behind a particular message, and it doesn't have. We don't have to compromise our values. Conservative values will win elections. Ronald Reagan taught us that. If we find the right issue and we speak with one voice, we will reach out to those middle of the road, the squish vote, as you referred to, we will win them over. But we have to do it with true honesty, and we have to do it with a unified voice.
Listen to what people are saying. Hillary did get that phone call in the middle of the night, and she hid under the bed. She's good at squeezing money from governments and countries and big businesses to funnel to the Clinton Foundation. She is corrupt to the core, corrupt to the bone, and Americans, I don't care what shape, size, color they are, red or blue, they don't like corrupt government. Victor Medina has been our guest. Find him at unhyphenatedamerica.org. Get on target. Don't get tired. Don't get discouraged. He may not be the best, but he beats. On Trump's worst day, he's better than Hillary on her best day. Believe it or not. This has been the What's Up program with news and views you can use. Victor, thanks for being with us.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.